Hello and welcome, I am the Sterling and today we are playing Going Medieval. In the last few episodes we've been very busy. We have built a nice big gatehouse, we've expanded our farmland and encased it in a nice waterfall wall. We've done quite a lot of construction here on the west end, including creating a lot of storage area for all our materials. In this episode I want to knuckle down and get this wall built here on the west end. And I also want to build the gantry across between all these towers. So sit back, grab a cold one, and let's get started. So first things first, I'm going to tell them to chop down all these trees. They're in the way, and I want them gone. Next, I want to start building the gantry between this tower and these two towers here. So I want to do it as easy as possible. So the plan is I want to destroy the walls layer by layer. So then there's always some form of stability holding up the top platform here, so I don't have to rebuild the entire thing. Now, while they start destroying that, we'll get them to lay in the pathwork for where the actual water's going to run for the waterfall wall. Done. Now we'll just plop a little bit of limestone storage down, like so. That way they can easily build that. Now let's hit play and let them get to work. Fantastic, we're off to a good start this episode. And I haven't seemed to have stuffed anything up just yet, which is good. It's unnormal for me, but it's good. But don't get me wrong, it's still early days. I could stuff up at any point. I might end up accidentally collapsing this whole wall. Who knows? Wouldn't be unnormal for me. Next, let's grab and mine out all this soil and this soil over here. We'll delete these two walls here and these stairs. Fantastic. Once they dig that out, that will give us the space needed to create the pillars and the archways to hold up these two gantries either side. Fantastic. Other than the odd Merlon here and there, majority of it has stayed in one place like we wanted. I can't remember the last time I had a plan that actually worked. Now it's time for us to put in the pillars and the archways. The space between this tower here and this tower here is exactly 30 blocks. Same as this side over here. So what we'll do is we'll add a pillar 10 spaces off, which we put it here, put it there, here, and finally here. And now we'll use limestone block arches, and now the same on this side. As you saw, I had to build all these ladders so we could get in to dig all this all out. We're not going to need most of them now. We'll just need to put a couple next to these pillars. That way they can get up to build all this. So I can go through and delete all these ones. Just like so. Now we'll add the ladders so they can get up to build all this. And then this will all be supported and we can knock out that last wall. And that there, my friends, is the first of 3 projects this episode done. And I tell you, having a look at it done out of stone, I really like it so much more than I like this wooden one over here. It's never sat right with me, to be honest. This one here is just a hell of a lot more fitting for the rest of the castle. And having these gantries, it really does open up the castle. I think it looks great. I'm quite impressed, to be honest. So one of 3, I hear you say. The first one is the gantries here over in the west. The second will be this wall. So what's the third? Well, I've decided I'm going to knock this one down. I don't like this gantry. Basically, I'm going to build it to look exactly like this one. It'll be nice and quick. So all I'll do is disconnect it from that wall, disconnect it from that wall, and then knock out these 2 pillars here and the whole thing should come down like a deck of cards. See? Just like that. Now we've got a nice fresh place to start building. There we go. Now it's just a matter of hit and play, let them get this done, and then that will be the first 2 projects done for this episode. Now, while they take care of the gantry in the east, which will be slow going as they've got to build a little bit at a time, we may as well start planning out the massive big wall that will encase the west side, shall we? Now, as I usually build everything, I'm going to start from the outside and work my way in. Just makes life a hell of a lot easier. There we go. That's the outer layer. Now I must remember to leave this section here open, and also I must remove this here because that there is the entry for our aqueduct. I'm not going to plumb the aqueduct up just yet. I'm going to wait until after I've actually finished this. In fact, while I remember, I'll put in a piece of wooden wall over here just so we can block this canal so the water will stop running down to the aqueduct, so then we can work with it and not have to worry about flooding the castle. And let's be honest, that for me is a good possibility. So now we've given them a hell of a lot to do. So let's hit play and let them get to work. They're really throwing this all together quite quickly this episode, except for this. They're taking their sweet time building this. This is horrible. But that's to be expected. They can only build a few blocks here and there. It's always a slow going. As you see, I got them to build this block, which blocked the water, but then I had to reset the water because this still continued to have water in it. It's one of those fun little glitches that happens. Nonetheless, it's given me the opportunity now to connect the aqueduct to the actual tower itself, which is good. So now we're ready to continue building the rest of the wall, which down here at the front will be quite simple, running with the pillars. Now we'll add the archways. We'll add the top wall, like so, and that section there is now complete. Now we'll run soil across the top walls. We'll also need to fill this gap here with limestone blocks, same as this one here, and then we can add soil. And now I'll come down to this level and do the exact same thing here, like so. Done. So now the water will travel in through the aqueduct into this tower. It will then come out this little gap here, travel down here, all the way overflowing down here, and then into our original waterfall wall. The water will also detour down here, overflowing through all this over here, creating another big waterfall wall. Should look quite nice. Now let's go across and cap the top walls with limestone block. And now we can add merlons to the front. And there we go. That's going to come along quite nicely. Before I forget, I better cap the top of these towers so we can continue building them. Does make life a hell of a lot easier. So now, as you see, we're in the third day of autumn. So winter is just around the corner. So we have to keep our eye on our food. As you see, we've only got 112 meals, and they consist of only packaged meals. That's a little deceptive, as I've now started producing lots of pickled vegetables. I'm trying to keep it around the 200 mark. Now, the reason why I've started producing a large amount of pickled vegetables is because they last a long time, so I don't need to produce ice right now. Also, they can be used to cook food, or the settlers can eat them raw. So it works out quite well. So hopefully that keeps us out of the woods when winter comes around. Now we're really on a rush here because I want to try and hurry up and get this wall complete, including the towers, before winter hits. Once again, I do not want our settlers out here in winter. I like the idea of keeping the settlers inside as much as possible due to the fact of cold snaps, things like that. It's just too much of a pain in the bum. So hopefully we can get this done. But now we're on the clock. We're running out of time. So that's enough gas bagging. Let's hit play and let them get this bit done. And here we go, we're being attacked. What are we looking at? Well, it doesn't look like there's any trebuchets anywhere, which that's always a good thing. And to be honest with you, the 16 raiders that are attacking us don't really look overly tough. I don't think they're going to be much of a problem for us. But every time I seem to say, oh, we're in for a good fight, it turns out being an easy fight. And every time I say, oh, this is going to be an easy fight, I end up stuffing up or doing something stupid, and it ends up becoming a hell of a lot harder than it really should. So maybe I should stop jinxing myself, especially the fact there are a few who are in heavy armor. So as I said, maybe I shouldn't go jinxing myself. Now let's draft everyone and get ready for a good fight. Straight off the bat, looks like the jerks are going straight for the west end tower. So what I might do is I'm going to send someone out here to try and encourage the enemy to come to the front gate. Let's see if this works. Ooh, maybe it has worked. They've broken up a bit and they're coming on their way. A couple have stayed around, still trying to get in though. As you've seen in the past, if they do actually get in here, they've still got to break into the door down here anyway, before they can even get up here, to which we'll be waiting to kill them anyway. So it's not the end of the world. Now, I must remember Alexandra's out the front, so let's not wait too long. It might have been better if I'd put Sterling out here, because he's quite fast. And here they come. Run, Alexandra, run! Our archers are in position. Here we go. It's time to start killing. Whoa, what's going on? Why aren't we shooting? Oh, now we are. Come on, guys. That's 2 down. Whoa, they've turned around and run off. Hang on. We need to put someone out the front here. You know what? Let's put the entire force out the front here, shall we? I know it's a bit silly, but whoa. The archers are doing a fantastic job. Yes. Now everyone's still down here, which is not good. I'm wondering if we should run our archers down here and start picking them off from this tower. What I'll do is I'll put our melee back inside. I'll grab these 4 archers here. Let's see if we put them up here in the corner tower, if they can actually shoot and hit them from this distance. Wouldn't that be nice? And here we go. Here comes our archers. And yes, they can pick them off from here. This is fantastic news. Go. Attack. And why are we not attacking? Oh, there we go. Fantastic. Get this one here. Go, go, go. Whoa, maybe we can't get them from here. It says we can. Maybe we're slightly too high up here. That's a shame. We got one at least. Well, let's sally forth and go and attack, shall we? We're always hiding behind our walls. Let's bloody up our troops. It's odd. They're not even fazed by us being in the same vicinity as them. I would have thought they'd be coming to attack us. What is so much more interesting about this tower that they want to continue to fight it? Looking at the amount of archers, especially the crossbowmen they've got, I'm not willing to send our melee out to attack them front on. It's a death sentence, especially not having the support of archers. I'm just not willing to do it. And victory. Not much happened. Really not happy about this fight. I don't get why they were so fascinated with this tower. Well, I guess we can just undraft everyone, let them get some sleep, and then we can get back to work. Maybe there's a future project ahead of me where I'll build some form of a gantry that comes out, or extend this tower in some sort of range, maybe a 2-tier tower. So have the actual wall jut out around the outside of the tower so they can get that little bit of extra distance close to this tower. So this tower here can cover this one here. Obviously, it doesn't really help for this distance here because it is a vast distance between the gatehouse and this tower. In saying that, this tower here is in exactly the same boat. Look at the distance between that. It doesn't matter what I do down here, they're not going to be able to defend this from the castle. And there we go. We're halfway through autumn. We're now on day 6. Only 6 more days till winter. We better get a move on. So let's plan out the rest of the walls and the 2 towers, shall we? There we go. That's the last little bit planned out. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think we're going to be a bit hard pressed to try and get this done before winter. That is a lot of building. To help it along, I'm just going to add some storage up here on the walls just to make the construction a little bit quicker. Wow, they actually pulled it off. And with no time to spare. It's now the last day of autumn. Tomorrow is winter. Dead set. I genuinely didn't think that they were going to be able to get this all done before winter. Especially due to the fact that halfway through the build, I actually had to stop building and reopen up the mine because I'd run out of bloody limestone. As you can see now though, we have 2,914 limestone, but we're down to our last 317 wood, which that's what I've got the settlers doing now, is chopping wood as we speak. And then the next major hurdle I got after getting the limestone was actually creating the limestone bricks. We now only have 701. We were down to next to nothing. For most of the build, they were basically building the limestone blocks and then shipping them straight out to the wall to be put on. We didn't actually have all that many. You probably noticed they stopped doing a lot of limestone work and started working more on the timber. That was why. But nonetheless, it's actually done now, which, look at it, I think that looks great. Now, all that's left is for us to knock out this wooden dam, which I'll send Alexandra over to do, and then our waterfall wall will work. And here we go, the water's now overflowing out of the waterfall walls. And would you have a look at that? Honestly, I'm really impressed with the way that's turned out. To be perfectly honest with you, I think it worked out looking better than what I thought it would. Now the wall's complete, we've still got plenty of things to do. The next thing we're going to do is move these cattle pens into this area here. I then need to work out what I want to do with this area over here, because then we'll have space. I don't know, I've got a few ideas. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with it yet. But nonetheless, that is now a big chunk of the build now done. Unfortunately, that will all have to wait for another episode, as this is all the time we have for today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.